Hello guys, welcome to today's stream. I have decided that, I know yesterday I promised that I was going to continue the painting we started yesterday, but I had this idea last night of wanting to draw Betty Boop in my style, and I don't know, it's something that I haven't really thought of before, so I was really excited to give it a go. Hello Homeburger, how are you? Hello Classy Bathrobe. Katie Bob's stream was so beautiful. It was so awesome there. How are you, Yagimi? Time to give you that raid today if you're able to stick around. You're legit curious how that will turn out. So am I, Homeburger. Definitely. Hello, False Visual, how are you? So we'll give it a shot. I am wanting to draw her puppy. What's her puppy's name again? I forgot. Let me Google that. So his name's Pudgy. So he's got like a black spot on his back as well, so we'll give that a go. So I'm probably gonna make her like a younger version of herself, if I can try that. There's actually a person who transformed herself into Betty Boop, like legitimately copied the whole look and everything. And I kind of feel like she'd sort of be a good reference point as well. Because my art is slightly more realistic, so could help. Really could help. Okay, so I am gonna have to do a combination of Betty, like a more realistic version of Betty, and also a more childlike version of Betty. So I'm trying to find if they had any like younger versions of her drawn, just because that might help me. Doesn't really seem like there's heaps, but I'm not gonna make the biggest adjustments anyways, so we should be alright. And I feel like I can wing it. Alright, so the pose, I'm wanting to do a really stereotypical pose of her. I'm really wanting to do one where she's like either doing a bow or I don't know, like sort of standing in her typical pose. Little bro, how are you? Hello Daniel, I'm good. How are you doing? If you'll still be around and there'll be anyone to raid, you don't want to force raids on digital artists when I prefer traditional ones. That's totally fine, Yagimi. I don't, like, I'm not against raiding digital ones. I just feel like there's, I guess, a very underrepresentation of traditional artists on Twitch, and so I'd really like to try and support fellow traditional artists if I can. But yeah, by no means am I against raiding digital artists at all. So I would love to, as long as it's an artist, of course. Hello, Mockery. How are you? I hope you're well. Alright, so time to get started. Okay, so one of the poses is going to be of Betty sort of bowing, and the other one is her in her very typical sort of bent over pose. I feel like that one's going to be more interesting because it's just got more, I guess, flow. So might do that one. But then on the other hand, I really love her sort of bashful nature, and I'd love to try and bring that to life as well. You're good, you just got done with work. How was my weekend? My weekend was awesome. I actually did a stream on Sunday which was part of like an artist raid. So if you guys want to check out or like want to be part of that kind of raid thing in the future, they are actually taking a lot of submissions in as well. So people will definitely love to meet you, and it's great being part of it because then you can sort of, you know, get to meet a lot of new artists. Hello, Aoife. How are you doing? Guys, I can't decide. So one of the poses has her sort of bowing, and the other one is her sort of typical pin-up kind of style pose. But I do want to draw her little dog as well. So the question is, which one's going to be most interesting? I think I really feel like doing the bashful kind of pose first. So I might start with that. So this is going to be a bit of a style challenge for me because I can't really combine both Hell Mockery because they're entirely different. So they wouldn't really work out in the same. I may just redraw her again, you know, do her now and then redraw her again later, so it won't be an issue. But yeah, so basically what we want is, she has a humongous head and she also has a very box-like face, so I want to try and really get her face out of the way first. Alright, so we got that. If I get frustrated with this one, I'm just going to move on to the other one. I also really love the kinds of cute dresses that she wears. So Betty's been a favorite character of mine for ages. I love the art style. Hello, Daniel. How are you? No seal facts for now. You're all dried out. Oh no, Sendo. That's not good. We need some daily seal inspiration. Also, I noticed you greeted us with Fibsh earlier. Really, really inspiring message there. I feel like, so I've only got an animation of this one, so I'm gonna have to take a screenshot because otherwise I'm never gonna be able to hold it still and get a proper pose, because there's actually no pose of her where she's sort of doing the bowing motion, so. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of creative, I guess, what do you call it? I don't know, artistic, I'm gonna have to take a lot of artistic license on basically her dress and everything else, because yeah, it's just black in the style that she was drawn in originally, and you know, that's not really that helpful for us, because in our drawing, well, she has to look a little different, you know? She has to have some texture to her as well. Did you share the fact that there are seals living in Bykill Lake? Whereabouts is that? Oh my gosh, there's such cute toys out of her. They're so cute. I need a model of my own Betty Boop. I really do. I feel like I have a mini Betty Boop toy somewhere. I just gotta remember where I put her. She's so cute. Alright, this is gonna be tricky. I have like no ref. So I might have to use a normal person ref. Because I'm looking for a very particular pose of somebody just standing with their legs sort of crossed. It's a very popular model pose, so I was hoping that I could get something. But it's not looking too easy to find one that I want. And my iPad is spazzing out as well, so it's not even letting me do. There we go. Alright. Well, this is gonna have to do. So one of the main things about her as well is she has very elongated and sticky-like legs. So I gotta make sure, I think I need to draw her a little higher, actually. Because her legs really are not quite fitting in. Or I could always do this. In Siberia, if you remember correctly, it's the largest freshwater lake, for now at least. What do you mean for now? Is it not going to stay freshwater for long? Is something happening to it? I'm Kate. Thank you so much for the follow. Please sit down and join our Vampire Tea Party if you like. You wonder how big her neck would be with a head that big. I don't feel like they draw her neck very often. Like, I don't actually think she ever has a neck, so yeah. That's pretty interesting. A necklace Betty Boop, right? Is it a chibi? It's not a chibi, actually. It's Betty Boop. Well, she's kind of a chibi-like character, but she's more of like a famous retro kind of character. So she's gonna look like a chibi-ish. But this was way before the chibi era even started, so I don't really think she, or the person who drew her, knew that there were such a thing as chibis back then. I really want to try and retain her very plump look. Like, she is beautifully squishy, and I think it's something special about that era. You know, they didn't try and I guess make characters look more skinny than they actually were, which is kind of nice. Art of DHT, hello, welcome. You hope not, but who knows, we're at the age where we can trigger wonderful destructive events. Exactly. Have I seen Betty Boop's Skeleton by Michael Polis? It's really cool. No, I don't think so. I mean, unless you're talking about like the Halloween kind of episode of Betty Boop. I love watching Betty Boop. I've got like, I think I've got the whole thing downloaded on my iPad, if I remember correctly. If that's all of them. Never know. Thing is, you never see her ears. It's gonna be so hard. Damn. How am I gonna do her ears? I love these little garter straps that she wears. They're so adorable. And they're like always visible. One of the most iconic things about her. No neck, no ears. I know, I know. It's so, like, tragic. Poor Betty, right? Poor Betty. How does she hear? And how does she swallow any food? I don't know. Must suck to be her. So the eyes are going to be the tricky part. The eyes are going to be what really changes her from the cartoon style that she is into my style. So I'm going to have to do some legwork here. Michael Paulus draws skeletons of famous carbons like Dexter Lab, Powerpuff Girls, Charlie Brown, etc. Does he do like skeleton Barbies as well? And like balloon dogs? Because if so, then yeah, I do know his work, but I don't think I've seen his Betty Boop version. You love my sweater, but those should be seals instead of hearts. I wholeheartedly agree, Sendo. Yeah, I need a seal t-shirt. I really do. How have I not already thought about that, you know? Well, I am going to give her some tiny ears. Nothing too big because I don't want to deviate too far from like the original art. But we need to separate this from like the style that it is and change it into my style somehow, and so gotta start somewhere, right? I feel like they just gave her humongous earrings instead of ears. They were like, let's skip the ears, but let's still put on huge earrings that just hang in mid-air, and it doesn't really matter. You know? Artist logic. That's artist logic for you. She's gotta have like almost friggin' gauges to carry these things. I feel like they're huge. I'm gonna try and make these eyes look a lot like my Alice in Wonderland piece that I think I did in, was it 2020? Hang on, was this part? I think this was part of Joloween where I did like a poison character. Let me try and find her. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and make the eyes look like that because that was within my own style. And that way, we have something that looks a lot like a combination of my style of Betty Boop and the original. So we'll give that a go. Is the pug in this picture too, or the dog? Yeah, I'm gonna put the dog right beside her. So we will have the puppy in the picture. I completely love Betty's little bashful nature. Like, she's just got the sweetest look about her. So I think, if I remember correctly, her dog's name is Pudgy. So he's small, well, not very fluffy, but he's a small white dog with some spots on his back. So we'll be adding him in as well. Now, I don't think there's any shading in the original of these drawings, but I'm gonna try and do my own shading sort of thing. Hagen Kitty, thank you so much for the raid. Oh my goodness. Thank you. If you would like to introduce yourself, please feel free to do so, Hagen Kitty. Hagen Kenny, sorry. Hagen Kenny. Once my chat stops lagging, I can do a shout out for you. I'm so sorry, my Streamlabs has been terrible of late, and it's just, yeah, not really playing nicely. But yeah, please let us know what you were doing on your stream, and also drop some links to your socials. We'd love to see some more of your work. That would be amazing. So guys, today we're just working on trying to replicate Betty Boop in my art style. So it's a little bit different from, you know, the normal, very flat kind of style that Betty normally is done in, because my style is always far more rendered. So hopefully, you know, by the end of it, it's gonna look like a proper mix of my style and hers as well. You paint miniatures. Hang on, that just disappeared. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna wait for Streamlabs to stop lagging and then I'll read you guys' chat out. Because right now it's not letting me read a thing. But yeah, really appreciate that raid of yours. That's so kind of you. You paint miniatures and play some video games occasionally. You tattoo, so drawing Betty Boop got you here. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. Wow. Let me do a shout out for you. We're really happy that you're here. Hopefully this doesn't lag up. There we go. Thank you so very much, Hagen Kenny. Really appreciate the raid. Guys, if you could go give Hagen Kenny a follow, that would be super awesome. He's been kind enough to raid us. He's a tattoo artist and he also paint miniatures. So we actually have quite a few people here who paint miniatures. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, I'm sure you'll find his stream really awesome. That's amazing. What a cool channel feature. Well, I love to show off people's work, and we actually started having some problems sharing desktop stuff, so I wanted to find a way that we could still share people's streams and sort of give a brief, like, intro of what their streams are about without, you know, without completely crashing the stream. And that worked very well, so I was very happy. So whereabouts are you from, Kimmy? Sorry, Kenny. Betty White, 96 years old, is older than Betty Boop, 91 years old. Who's Betty White? You're from the southwest of the US. Okay. What time is it over there right now? Betty White is older than Betty Boop? Crazy. She's from the Golden Girls, the other films or TV. Are they related in some way? I feel like Betty Boop is one of the greatest cartoons ever made. Like, by far. She's amazing. Great attention to detail on this character. Hello, Galacticat! How are you? Betty White is older than Sliced Bread. So what is this Betty White? How does she relate to Betty Boop? Does she just have a similar name, or are they related somehow? Because I don't know a Betty White. You're great, thank you. How about me? I'm doing really well. Yeah, I had a horrible sleep, but feeling a lot better today. Feeling so much better. And I got really excited this morning when I woke up and I was like, I want to draw Betty Boop. That's what I'm gonna do. So, you know, a great way to start your morning. Drawing a super, super cool character like this one. Thank you for the follow, Armando. Really appreciate that. Betty Boop has been an image tattooed on people since the 1940s or thereabouts. Great character. I know. She's a very popular tattoo, but she's also I still feel like she's one of the greatest animations ever made. And I think my favorite episode is the one where she sort of dies, gets put in a coffin, and these spooky characters try and save her, sort of a play on Snow White. I love that one. Thank you, Galacticat. I'm glad you think it's looking good. I'm glad you do. So how long have you been streaming for, Kenny? Have you been enjoying streaming since you've done it? You love streaming, been going serious for a few months now. You were able to hit affiliate recently and almost at 15 subs, which is huge because you can get a second emote. That is so cool, Kenny. Yay, congrats. Yeah, it's such a grind, isn't it? trying to start out at that level is always the hardest, but I feel like as soon as you're past that, everything just like keeps getting easier and easier. And, you know, people start getting familiar with you, you start getting your own community, and it's just so rewarding, you know? Like, you essentially grow your own little family, and that's so special. Everybody gets to know each other. It's so sweet. Hang on, did the camera just stop? I feel like the camera stopped, guys. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. So sorry about that. I don't know why it's so crashy. There we go. Awesome. It really is just like that. I know, I know. You're just happy being in other people's communities. You couldn't imagine anyone enjoying whatever art you'd stream. You'd be surprised. People don't really just follow art streamers because of the type of art they make. They also follow them for, you know, spending time with the person and seeing that person's art grow and things like that. So, you know, you can have a lot of people who would be willing to follow you on your journey. I really do believe that. Like, I recently had a friend of mine who I told him to get into streaming, and he was like, but I only do tattoo art. I don't really like, sorry, not tattoo art, like graffiti art, and I don't really do anything that, you know, any real art. And I said to him, well, people follow people who do tattoo art. You really should still get into streaming. You'd enjoy it, you know? Lots of support. And also, I don't know how you felt about that, Kenny, but I really do feel like it helps keep you accountable as well. Seals are earless dogs. Exactly, exactly. And they're oh so cute being so earless. What do you think of the features, Thando? And well, everybody, if you want to join in, what do you feel are the features that make a creature look cute? Like big eyes, or is it the tiny paws? Or what do you feel is required for something to be cute, to qualify as cute? What causes us to look at something and think this is cute? Hello, Super Duper Mark. How are you? The eyes for you? Okay. The Twitch art community is so wholesome. Exactly, Galactic Cat. I loved being part of your stream the other day. It was so relaxing. Personality. That's true. Yeah, definitely like you can have something that doesn't even have the looks, and it's just adorable based on how it behaves. Big bulbous eyes and a swishy face. That makes sense, Endo. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Definitely. You loved having me there. Aw, I loved being there. It was so chill. I was so tired though. I was like really sleepy that day. But yeah, I had fun. I really did. And you seem to be enjoying yourself as well, which is really awesome. I love to see when streamers are excited about what they're doing. It's like, it adds to the fun of the other people enjoying the stream, you know? You don't know why, but you can't find babies cute. Right, well, I mean, that's your thing, right? So I guess babies don't do it for you. You're okay, thanks. How about me? I'm good, super duper. I'm really good. Yeah, I was so excited this morning when I realized that I'm gonna draw Betty Boop today. And it's a character that I've been obsessed with for a very, very long time. So drawing her was exciting, you know. They really did such an ingenious design, you know, to keep her looking quite simple, easy to redraw, but still like focusing on, you know, an interesting character. I really do feel like they did such an amazing job. Because that's the thing though, right? Like, if you're creating a character for animation, you have to be aware that you're gonna have to redraw that character heaps and heaps of times. So you don't want a character that's super, super complicated. Would help if I held the pencil the right way. No worries, Gimme. Enjoy your luck. Hello, Italian. How are you? You're gonna take off now. You can't wait to pop in again. The drawing is looking great. Well, thank you so much for your raid, Kenny. If you want to drop a link to your Instagram account before you leave, that would be awesome. And I'll just share another shout out, guys. If you could please go and give Kenny a follow, that would be super awesome. He paints miniatures, and I know I've got quite a few miniature followers in my community. So if you guys would like to check him out, please do so. Cloak and Compass on Instagram, tattoos only on here though. Alright, alright. But on Twitter, you're Hey GM Kenny, and you post a bunch of hobby stuff, Warhammer, TTRPG stuff. Thanks so much. Well, we have quite a large community of people who are interested in Warhammer and yeah, but hobby stuff as well. So if you'd like to join our Discord and share some of your work there, maybe some of those will follow you. That would be awesome. I don't know if they're on right now. I know Def's really into that stuff, and I've got a couple of other people as well, so. You'll hop in and keep an eye out. Definitely do, definitely do. And thanks again. Thanks so much for raiding. Hopefully we can, I'm not too sure. She definitely does look like Betty. What I'm not sure about is, does she look like she's close enough to my art style? I don't know yet. But I guess we'll figure it out as we go. It's definitely tricky to sort of try and combine two things and not deviate too far from one thing. It's certainly not the easiest task. Frozen fish, thank you so much for the follow. We've got a frog, we've got a seal, and now we've got a fish. Very, very happy to have you here. Welcome. In your opinion, Betty Boop in general is similar to my art style. Granted, you haven't been following me for very long. I do agree with you, Homeburger. Yeah, and thank you for following, by the way. Yeah, I do agree. I think because of her, like, large head, like, pretty big eyes, and, like, very small body, it's not too far off, so, but then still, like, even at that, she still has such a, simplified style, and I don't, so I'm really hoping that I can combine the two and still have it obvious that it's my own style, but, you know, not my character. We'll see how we go. Betty Boop is looking lovely. Thank you, False Visual. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. And my outfit totally rocks. Thank you. I was trying to dress in red like she did, like, you know, like to try and match sort of a Betty Boop style as best I could. Obviously it's winter, so I'm not gonna go dressing in like a pretty dress like she is, because it's freezing. But yeah, I feel like I did as best I could, considering the cold and freezing circumstances, right? Have I ever interacted with a raven? They are insanely smart, so they may not look cute, but you have a soft spot for them because of their personality. Same with bats, they are so adorable. Daniel, I want a pet raven, actually. Like, I would totally, if I had space for one, I would totally try and get one if it's legal. I haven't even looked into that. But yeah, they're so inspiring. Absolutely amazing. You love the sweater. Thank you, Galacticat. I have to ask, when I was on your stream the other day, I was so confused how you would dress, like, you were wearing a sweater, but it was so cold that night. Like, I was rugged up with multiple layers of jackets, and I was looking at you and being like, how are you not freezing? So I have to ask, do you have a heater in your room, or do you have air conditioning? Because I recently got a heater for my studio, because I can't cope anymore. It's just way too hard. You had a heater and a blanket on your lap and a very thick socks. Oh gosh, oh gosh. That, I feel like that helps, and that's definitely the winter comforts that you need, right? You may or may not have had a cat on your lap too. Oh my gosh, really? I would have loved to see your kitty. Never seen your kitty before on stream. If you want to check the clips, or if you want to check my Discord, there's links to clips of Zazu being on stream. And he is oh so cute. Absolutely adorable. So yeah, I can't really have a cat because I have Zazu. Cats and birds don't really mix very well. So I'm gonna have to settle for that, you know? She pops in every now and then, but now it's getting colder. She wants to be more cuddly. I guess you're enjoying that though. That's the whole point of having a kitty. All those cuddles. All those nice and comfy cuddles. You have two, but she's more social than the other. You have to post pictures in our Discord of what they look like. Because I've never seen them. I would love to see them. You can do that. Freakmice actually did paintings of them recently too. Both of them? Oh gosh, that's so beautiful. How lovely. You should share those with us in the art section as well. Would love to see those. Do you guys have a favorite episode of Betty Boop that you really loved? For me, it was definitely the Halloween one. The one, well, it's not exactly Halloween, but there was like a lot of creepy elements in it. And it's basically the one where Betty Boop gets sort of, she's like dying, and not actually dying, like she died like Snow White, and all these characters were really, really sad, and they took her away in like a coffin, but the whole time you can see that Betty is still alive. It's so cute. I absolutely love it. I've got them all on my iPad. I really should watch them more. They're so artistically inspiring. I didn't know Betty Boop was a show. Really? What did you think it was? Like just a cartoon strip? You thought it was advertising. Like, you saw Betty Boop, you think, on a restaurant sign, so you thought it was just advertising. You thought it was just a character and she was used in advertising. Really? Like a gimmick, the way Frosted Flakes have Tony the Tiger. No, no, this is like a whole cartoon show, like Disney and stuff, but like, I don't know who made it. It's really, really old. but it's so amazingly done. Will the future be more bizarre than we can imagine it? Good question, good question. Will it? I don't know. Like, sometimes when you look at movies and stuff, they predict the future to be so insanely crazy and ridiculous. And then when you finally get to that stage, like, if you look at Back to the Future, and what they thought the future might be, it's like totally tame and different to what, you know, well, not tame, I guess, but like, we don't have flying cars and a bunch of the other cool stuff. So, I don't know. I feel like that's a really hard thing to know. What, you know, what is the future actually gonna look like? And I don't think we have any way of really knowing. You imagine it will, yeah, okay. It depends, like, how far into the future are we talking about, right? You're from South Africa, and the only time you've ever seen Betty Boop is on t-shirts. Really? Wow. My whole stream layout is very aesthetically pleasing. Thank you, Galactic Cat. Thank you. I put so much time into it, like, there was like a whole week I spent just creating this layout and figuring out what I wanted, and then I actually had to spend quite a bit of money on it as well because I couldn't get the graphics I wanted, so yeah. You imagine the future will look like a mushroom cloud of sorts. In what way, little bro? The stream is so calming compared to the chaotic stream you just came from. Where did you come from, Compile? I feel like a lot of people tell me that, you know, when they come from other streams, this place is so relaxing. I hope that's a good thing. Like, sometimes I'm in the mood for a relaxing stream, and obviously other times I'm in the mood for something else. It just really depends, I guess, what mood you're in. I hope I got her, you know, pretty pouty look done properly. There's so much you have to do for yours. You're never satisfied. I felt like that for ages, Galactic Cat. How long have you been streaming now, by the way? I feel like you've been streaming probably longer than I have. Artists have often better layouts than other streamers. You wonder why. Well, it's because we care about how things look, you know? But I also feel like it can be the opposite sometimes. Like, I go to some artist streams and they don't have any care about what their stream looks like. So how is the start of the stream doing today? Well, he is like... His reflection is here outside. You can see him sort of moving to and fro. He didn't want to stay inside today. I let him out. You've been going for 10 months. Okay, so I reckon I've been going for like 7 or 8. No, I've been going for 11, actually. So, I've been streaming only a month longer than you have. But what I was gonna say is, yeah, like, it took me a long time before I was, like, actually happy with what my stream layout looked like. So, yeah, it wasn't all that. Wasn't all that easy to get started and just be like, yeah, I like this layout, this is what I'm gonna do. It took me a while to be happy. I'm much more organized than you. Technology can sometimes overwhelm me. Well, I feel like for me, it was pretty easy because I worked as a web designer before I started full-time streaming. So, you know, technology was kind of my thing. So it wasn't all that difficult for me to pick it up. So I feel like I was kind of lucky. And it also meant that a lot of things were simpler to figure out, especially with stream overlays. Because a lot of those are essentially web widgets, you know? So as soon as I understood that, I was like, oh, okay. So I can basically make these things look exactly how I want them to. I love Hagata so much. She also has bangles on both her hands, so I need to try and draw those as well. What's a bangle? Like a bracelet, but like a hard one that doesn't go like loose and conform to your body. So they're also like really loud when you wear them. Like the most off-putting thing for me about bangles is that when I'm wearing them, I cannot be quiet. Because they just make noise. They announce your entrance everywhere. And whenever you move your hands, they're noisy and like... I don't like that. I love the look of bangles, but I don't like the noise. It's just like, it's too much, you know? It's too much. Boop oopa doop. Exactly, Cineguy. We're in the mood today. I'm a web dev. Oh man, all the nerdery. I know, right? I know. That you hope to see dev stream, please. No thanks. No thanks, please no. I'm just like, let me art. Let me art. I've had nightmare stories with web developing. So yeah. I love web development itself, like I love the coding part of it. But what I don't love is these days a lot of web deving is just about, you know, like I was especially an e-commerce web developer, so a lot of WordPress and stuff. And basically, I at the end of the time I was working, I really wasn't spending a lot of time coding at all, which is what I love. I was just spending time looking for this package that could do this thing that this customer wanted, and then the package wouldn't work. I wasn't allowed to fix it because you have to do it a certain way, and so I have to just get in touch with like the people who are actually developing the plugins, and so yeah, not really a lot of fun. Not really much fun. I love the days where you loaded up a piece of HTML and you could look straight at the code and you had full control over everything at all times. There was no silly plugins, no nothing. Those were the best days of being a web developer. Are you talking about Sin, like the oh, you're saying hi to Sinny. Do you like Sin's music, False Visual? Your music, what? I'm talking about an artist that has a similar name to yours, Cineguy. So her name is Sin, just C-Y-N. And I was asking False Visual if she likes music by Sin. You went to college for computer programming and made you realize you wanted to do art. Well, that's a big eye-opener, isn't it? Why did it make you realize that? Did you just not fit in, really? Taking your jams? Aw, Senegai, someone's stealing your music. That's a tough situation. You don't know what you're doing with your life. You mean it's not like you can be Seal Pope or anything. Well, I feel like you've done a lot for this community. You've brought smiles to us every time you're here. You know, Sendo? You're trying to fall in love with programming, but man, you don't know. I feel like, I mean, I'm not a programmer. I'm more of like a markup developer, so not really a developer per se. I'm a web designer, so I really only work with CSS and HTML, which is not exactly the same as programming. And a lot of people often ask me, hey, we've got this programming job for you. And I'm like, do you realize that's like not the same thing at all? So I don't know how many people are aware that web design and programming are entirely different things. So, but from my boyfriend is a software engineer and programming is his life. Like it gets him going like art gets me going. And yeah, I feel like if it's your thing, it's definitely a very rewarding career, but it's probably a lot like web design in the sense that if you run into, you know, something that doesn't work, it can be really frustrating. And it depends, like, does that challenge you? If running into stuff ups and things that go wrong challenges you, well, then I feel like it's definitely the right career for you because you're going to be inspired to try and fix that, you know? But if all it does is frustrate you, then that's not exactly the right kind of, you know, job for you. Can you be a freelance web designer or is that only in movies? Well, I was a freelance web designer, Daniel. Um, it's it's not for everyone, let me tell you that. It's if you are going to be a freelance developer, you are probably going to work twice or three times as much as you would if you were employed because you have to find all your own clients. If you don't know how to find clients or get them on board, you can't you won't succeed being a freelance developer. So first step is finding out like can you get people on board if you're able to and that is something that you're good at, then by all means give it a go. But yeah, you're gonna spend probably 60 to 70% of your day just looking for clients, putting yourself out there, putting yourself on social media, advertising yourself, trying to network with people who might have work for you. And so the rest of the time, the tiny portion of your day is going to be spent actually doing client work. And you have to also be aware that when you charge people for client work, you're going to have to charge them way more than a per hourly rate, because if you charge, like, let's say, what's a pretty average hourly rate? It's like $35, let's say. Let's say you charge that, and you have spent all day looking for clients, you're not going to get your money back. So when you get client work, you have to charge something like anything between $70 to $90 minimum per hour to make sure that you get money. And so it's sort of trying to, half of the job is trying to convince clients that you're worth it, why they're paying for your services, and things like that. So if your portfolio or your experience doesn't speak for itself, yeah, you're gonna be struggling a lot. So I didn't start freelancing till, I was already working for like 5 or 6 years, and I don't think that just going out straight from uni and trying to freelance as a web designer is going to be very easy. But yeah, it's definitely not an unrealistic expectation. You definitely can be a freelancer. It's not just for, people who are incredibly skilled. It's mostly for people who are incredibly hardworking. Like, you have to ask yourself, why do I want to be a freelancer? If the reason you want to be a freelancer is because you like to, I guess, have an easy lifestyle, and you like the idea of maybe living at home, not needing to drive to work, and being able to maybe exercise or do whatever at home, that's not really how it's gonna happen. You're probably gonna wake up super early and work very long hours, but the reason you're gonna do it is because, well, my reasoning was, I was floating from one agency to another agency to another agency, just constantly shifting employers all the time, and it was just starting to get to a point where it was more frustrating, because I would get work somewhere, right? And because of either bad management, or them not being able to find enough work for me, they would just eventually, in like a couple of months, be like, we're sorry, but we don't have enough work. And so I would get let go, and it just meant that I never had any stability at all. So I would always go back to freelancing. And because I was ending up there, every time you switch from being a full-time employee to being a freelancer, there's things you need to set up. You need to set up your website again. You need to set up invoicing systems. You need to change how you do your tax. So every time I switched from being an employee to going back to freelancing when I lost my jobs, it was a nightmare. So eventually I just stopped, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm doing this on my own. I'm going freelance because I cannot deal with companies, not managing projects the right way, or not knowing if I have work again. So at least when I'm freelance, I know that it's all on me. If I stuff up, I do it, and it's my fault. But I can know that I can work towards something that's going to be consistent. It sounds horrible. Well, there's bonuses and negatives. You never thought about finding the clients yourself. Yeah, you do have to. So if you're not quite sure how to do that, I would try and talk to people who know how. And, well, at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to, what's your experience? What can you offer them that they need from you, and you have to be able to pitch that to them. So basically, you have to be so confident that you can prove to them that they need you. Hello, Robin! Thank you again so much for your resub the other day. I really appreciate that. How are you? Hello, Melissa! I hope you're doing well. So what kind of programming are you thinking to get into, Daniel? Like, what kind of work would you like to do? You're awesome and no problem. My art is awesome. Thanks, Robin. Thank you. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to fix her, like completely finish her today, because I still need to do her puppy friend. So I'll just keep going as far as we can go, and tomorrow we are going to add her puppy friend. So his name is Pudgy, and he's so cute. Absolutely adorable little thing. You're doing well as usual, just lurking and reading. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome, Melissa. You actually just graduated in accounting and you were thinking about working as a freelance accountant later in the future. Well, I feel like selling accounting is probably going to be a little easier than selling web design because, well, these days people don't understand A, why they need a website, or B, they feel like they can do it themselves, and then they kind of do, but it's never gonna look professional, you know? So yeah, people have gotten to the point where there's things like Squarespace and who knows what, and you know, yeah, you can do that yourself, but it's the things that you don't know that are going to be problematic for you, and that's why it's important to hire a web designer. The problem is there are so many people who aren't even qualified web designers these days that you know, they get hired by people and then the people have a really bad experience and they feel like that's all that a web designer helped me do. It's not really that useful, so it gets harder and harder to try and find work because people don't trust web designers anymore. Because every person, every graphic designer that can do Squarespace thinks that they can be a web designer. So yeah, it's not that simple anymore. And it's definitely true, like you can create, if you know what you're doing, you can create an amazing website yourself on Squarespace. But I have seen people screw it up really badly. Like I used to work as a web designer and I remember telling my bosses at one point, why would people hire us if there's things like Squarespace and stuff? Like, why are they going to be interested in what we do? And he showed me a bunch of websites designed by like normal people on Squarespace, and I was shocked. Like, I said to my boss, there's no way somebody can screw up a Squarespace website. Like, they already have all the styles there for you. All you need to do is put in the content. But believe it or not, people manage to screw it up really, really badly. So I was like, okay, yeah, now I get it. So I had to do a lot of cleaning up of people's websites. Sometimes they were just so bad that you just start over because there's nothing to work with. it's not even worth your waste of time. You actually just graduated. Oh, sorry. So Robin, when are you planning your next trip? You seem to go on so many cool adventures. Well, you're doing things that you can never do in a million years. 1 web design, 2 art, 3 ornithologist, and being awesome. Thank you, Daniel, but I am not an actual ornithologist, and you know, art is not something that you should ever say you can't do. It's something that, you know, you just practice every day until you get better, and yeah, just pour your soul into it. Really thinking about Adelaide in December or around Feb. Oh my goodness. Robin, you should come say hi. You really should. I would love to meet up. That would be so cool. If you'd be interested, of course. But yeah, definitely. That would be so cool. Near perfection! Thank you so much for the resub. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the streams. Hope I'm doing well. I really am near perfection. I hope you are too. Yeah, I've definitely made a lot of progress on my art in the last couple of months, I guess, especially this month. I feel like I've really pushed. So what's the difference between web designer and front-end dev? Lulu, a lot of people don't really understand the difference, so sometimes when you look at a job ad and they say it's for a front-end dev, it can actually just mean web designer. Usually when they say front-end dev, the people who create the ads don't know what a dev really means, so usually a web developer means someone who works on the back-end code, who like creates, you know, does more of the programming side of the website rather than just the markup language, just the styling of it. They usually deal more with creating functions of a website. So creating a plugin that can create a certain shop feature, or you know, writing code that does a certain, you know, type of form or something. So web developers are more focused on the coding aspect, whereas web designers, some web designers can't even do HTML or CSS. So they can, sometimes web developers are the ones who write the code and web designers are the ones who create the graphics. So they design the layout and the web developer then goes and cuts it into different pieces and puts it all together. So it really depends on people's understanding of, you know, what defines a web developer. Like back in the day, a web designer needed to be able to do at least HTML and CSS, whereas nowadays you can be a web designer and you don't even have to know how to code. You can totally do that. I personally don't think that that's a great way to go about it. I feel like if you don't know how to code, you're missing out on like a lot of like you don't know how certain features of the website works, and it's going to cause a lot of to and fro between the web developer and you as the web designer, because he's going to come back, or she's going to come back to you and be like, you can't create this sort of look in a website. And also you need to understand mobile optimization, and how are you going to do that if you don't understand any code at all? So really, I feel like it's quite necessary actually to, if you want to be a web designer, at least understand HTML and CSS. But yeah, these days it's not really required as much anymore, because depending on the company, sometimes they feel like that's the developer's job, but sometimes designers are still required to do so. It really just depends. Yeah, you need a lot of time there. Somehow you have so many friends living in Adelaide at the moment. Oh, that's super special. Infamous Cases requires X years of this technology, and the technology hasn't existed that long. I know, right? I know. Funny thing was, there was this company who tried to, so they wanted to hire someone who had created a certain, I think a certain software, and so they threw out some applications, and the developer of that software applied for the job, and they said to him, yeah, but you don't have as many years of experience in writing this code, so we can't hire you. And he was like, I developed this code in less of the time that you're expecting me to be experienced in it. I wrote it. So they wouldn't even hire the person who wrote the code. They were that misinformed about it. It's so annoying how recruiters can get the ad and understanding for a job so wrong. Exactly, Blilu. Like, for me, like realistically, the true definition is a web designer can do a little bit of HTML and CSS and a lot of graphic design. A web developer doesn't do any graphic design, only does the coding aspects and like deeper programming. But that's not what people understand all the time. So sometimes, in reality, I'm qualified as a web designer, not a developer. But I have gotten so many web developer roles because people mislabel a job. They call it a developer job, but it's really a graphic design job or a web designer job. So you really just gotta read the ad, because people have no clue. It's so frustrating. Sounds confusing. It so is. It so is. Like, especially if you're starting out and you're applying for these jobs. I didn't even know I was qualified for some of them until like people started contacting me and I was like, okay, well, I told you what my experience is. Don't expect more. And then, I ended up actually being overqualified for some of those jobs. So, yeah, sometimes you just gotta try. You never know. What's the worst that can happen, right? I feel like illustrators' jobs are also very often misunderstood as well. Like, um, sometimes you see an ad and it says illustrator wanted, but then what they really mean is they want a graphic designer. They're not wanting an illustrator. But they call it an illustrator simply because the program that people are going to be using in that role is Illustrator. Well, still only asking for a graphic designer. Even people who design typography, like depending on the role or how they're employed, they're not always illustrators. You get illustrator artists, yeah, but the roles aren't always for illustrator um, roles. Sometimes they're for graphic designers, so it's incredibly confusing. Gotta hate employment ads that are like that, right? It's so frustrating. Well, I'm definitely getting happier with her. I don't know why the cam is blurring so badly today, but it's definitely getting so much better. What's the nicest job you guys ever had that you would love to go back to if you could? Or would you not want to go back to anything? Are you guys just working towards a different kind of life? I personally feel like what I'm doing now is probably the happiest I've ever been in a role, so I'm much happier now than ever. But I had some pretty nice jobs as well. I wouldn't lie. You're in the pursuit of happiness. You gotta find a job that actually involves living life and not waiting to die. Oh no, Sando, that's not good. one of two devs at a circuit manufacturing place. You left because they introduced an arbitrarian clause. Kinda regret that. Oh no. What did the clause involve? That sounds like a nice job. I'm sure you'll find something again that, you know, is exactly what you're after. Arbitrarian as in you have to agree never to take them to court for any reason. You go to an arbitrarian court instead. Okay, okay. Well, that is kind of strange though. Like, why would they incorporate something like that? You said before that finding a dream job is like finding a soulmate, virtually impossible. I don't believe that's true. I believe that, you know, I think every job's definitely gonna have, you know, cons. I don't think there's such a thing as a job that's great in every aspect, but I do believe that there's a job that can suit you personally in a very good way. You know, in a way that makes you feel enriched and, you know, happy at the end of the day, not just like you're grinding away your life. I don't think a job should do that. Yeah, you gotta be open to other possibilities. Exactly. EMT and Marine were fun, but long hours and backbreaking. Those sound like very intense careers. I feel like, yeah, that's not for everyone. And very like emotionally intensive as well. Did you feel like you were drained a lot after work? Brad, hello! How are you? Have you been streaming of late? Thanks, Toilet After Dark. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love Betty. Betty's like one of my favorite characters ever. We're gonna add Pudgy, her little pet dog, tomorrow. So I'm just sort of finishing her up today. As much as I possibly can. Tomorrow we're gonna do more layers over her. And then I may have a late stream again on Thursday because I have an appointment to go to. And hopefully Hopefully I'll make it home in time and it won't be that late, but you never know. Traffic can be so terrible. She really has the longest of lashes. It's one of her most iconic features, I think. I think her hair is definitely number one that identifies her as who she is. And then it's gotta be those lashes, I reckon. Head shape, hair, and lashes. That's Betty for you. No, you still haven't streamed. Life has been complicated, but you hope to stream soon. Well, that would be awesome, Brad. I hope life gets less complicated for you soon. I've been good. Yeah, I've been really good. I had an evening stream on Sunday, which is the first evening stream I've had in a while. And the most heartwarming thing was that all my fans from that time zone still came to stop by after all that time. It was so heartwarming. It just was so special. I thought, you know, people would have forgotten about me by now in that time zone. But it was so sweet. They didn't. They all stopped by and said hello. So it really made my day. It's so sad that I can't regularly stream, you know, for Europeans as well. It's really so early. Should be great. You have to go sleep, but you hope it goes great for me. Oh, Toilet, thank you so much. I hope you have a good rest. EMT was 12-hour shifts, and you did 10 shifts in a month, so 1 day on 2 days off. As a Marine, you just surfed a lot after work. Okay, that would be a great way to release. But like, how'd you always have your surfboard with you? No worries, Robin. You enjoy your luck. So I have to start shading her face as well, and I'm really nervous about that because in the cartoon, she's got like no shading at all. It's gonna be so hard to know which areas need to be darker, you know. But it has to happen. hello Zago, how are you? You're not watching or liking much at this time of day normally, usually on late night. What time of the day is it there, Sendo? Oh, sorry, Brad. You're trying to get excited about your art again. It's easier to do work on something for 10 hours that way. Well, what is inspiring you most to create right now? Maybe you should, like, maybe you should try and do something different. Sometimes switching it up can really help. Maybe you've been working on one project for too long and your mind just wants to be inspired again with something different and new, and as soon as you are, you'll be able to work on that long-term project again. Sometimes for me that's the way. Sometimes you've got to push finishing a thing, but sometimes your brain does need to have a little bit of release and just do its own thing. You were stationed in Southern California, so you had boards in your room. During deployments, you were actually lucky and were stationed in Guam, which you spearfished and free dove. But no surfing. That is so crazy cool. It's like total survivor stuff. Did you get good at spearfishing? You're only 30 minutes ahead of me on the East Coast. Really? Wow. Here in California, it's 11:28 p.m. Yeah, so it's getting late for you guys. So you're in WA then, Brad, right? Are you? You're way too close, gotta finish. Well, if that's the case and that's how you feel, then I hope, you finish that project. It's always inspiring when people push themselves to finish something. Shows a lot of diligence. It's so easy to just pick up a new project all the time, but not always easy to finish one, especially when you get to the grinding moments where it's no longer just fun and games all the time. 4 scenes left. Well, that is not very long to go. I'm curious to see that project then, though. No, near Byron. I'm in South Australia, yeah? So half an hour behind you. Oh yeah, because like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I forgot about that. For some reason, I always think that we're ahead. Um, but yeah, really not. So what got you into making music, Brad? When did you first start making music? You got pretty good at freediving, 70 to 80 feet on a single breath hold, and spearfishing was second nature, but Guam's water was super warm and 100 feet visibility, so it was really easy. Wow, that sounds beautiful. Do you still have any pictures from when you were there? Let's see if we can make her nose a little bit more shiny. You were always obsessed with music or sound from before you could walk. You would crawl up to things like washing machines and push your ear against them to listen to the rhythm and mechanical noises. That's so cool. Brad, what kinds of headphones do you use then? I'm guessing you have some pretty high-end stuff. You have some video of freediving Gab Gab, but it was during the beginning of the deployment, so you sucked. Aw. Well, I'm sure you proved yourself wrong eventually. It's 2 months since you started, but much longer than you anticipated working on this thing. You wonder if there's something wrong with your work process. Surely you're spending enough time on it. Well, how many hours is your animation in total, Sendo? You think a lot of creatives are just destined to do things, even if it doesn't become a profession for them. I agree, Brad. I wholeheartedly agree. Definitely. He really has the coolest hairstyle. It's so awesome. You predict an average of 5 to 6 hours a day, but how long do you think your animation is gonna be in total? Like how many, but like the full backplay? How long is the video gonna be? You mainly use a Sennheiser HD600 and a Beyerdynamic DT77 Pro. I'm gonna copy and paste that for my brother. Because my brother's a total audiophile, and yeah, he might be interested in that. So do you listen to streams with your high-tech gear as well? Or does it not sound good for streams? Mrs. Happy Squirrel, thank you so much for the follow. Gosh, now we've got a squirrel, a fish, a seal, and an alien frog. We've got quite the collection going, guys. Close to about a minute long. Okay, I'll have a look at how long the animations were that we worked on during uni. But I feel like, yeah, that shouldn't take that long. You wish you could afford Odyssey, but they have models that are like $2,000. Is that Odyssey or Oddies? Oddies. Those stuff can get so pricey, right? You have studio monitors too, which you tend to use while working. That way you can move around the house a bit and still hear what's happening. That's so cool. Yeah. I do that a lot too. Like sometimes people think I'm lurking and I'm not really. I just can't type back because like I'm listening. But I can't type because, well, for whatever reason I got stuff in my hands or I left my iPad in the other room, and so yeah. But I get that. Alright, let us try and shade this side of her face as well. Well, guys, I feel like we've probably made some decent progress today. That's a close-up of her face. I'm really happy how I've sort of incorporated the same style. So we need to finish her legs, and I need to add a puppy dog as well. So we're gonna do the puppy tomorrow, and then hopefully I'd like to also do like a sort of Art Nouveau background for her. So we'll see how we go. If I have enough time, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. But for now, I feel like Yagimi, are you still here? Are you still lurking? Yagimi, I owe Yagimi a raid redeem, so if Yagimi is here, we'll raid whoever Yagimi says. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to scour the art section and have a look and see who we can raid. Something Pretty is working on some gorgeous dragons actually, so that would be a cool place to go. Amelia's AFK, so probably won't go over there. I reckon let us go raid Something Pretty. I feel like we owe her a raid. You're lurking, but you don't see anyone to raid. Alright, well next time you gimme, whenever you're ready and you have someone you would like for us to raid, you just let me know. Your redeem is always there, so I should remember. Group is looking great, thank you. I'm very happy with her. I'm definitely very happy with her, so that's awesome. Okay, so we will type the raid message, guys. You're welcome to copy and paste either of these two messages. Take your pick. We're about to raid Something Pretty. She's working on some really cool creatures. They're kind of creepy, so it's gonna be fun. But yeah, guys, please give some support. It really supports my channel if you stick around with a raid, because yeah, it helps to share the love as well. Also, I want to remind you guys about the community drawing that I am hosting this month. So if you would like to take part in the community drawing, basically it's going to be a sheet of paper that I take and I draw all of you guys' ideas and prompts. So if you sign up to my Patreon and pledge for a month, even at the lowest tier, you will get the chance to choose a prompt for me to draw and add to the community drawing. So please go check it out. I've already got 2 people taking part and my mods are taking part as well. So it's going to be a cool drawing, guys. A really cool drawing. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with as prompts. So that would be cool. But yeah, let us go raid something pretty. I'm going to be on same time tomorrow, guys. We're going to finish Betty tomorrow. So if you'd like to see the puppy and the beautiful background being created, join me tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be a little less tired than I was today. I'm so sorry I was so boring. Just really tired today. But yeah, let us go, guys. Let us raid. Share some love to something pretty. She's such a wholehearted streamer. Such a beautiful soul. So please, please go and share some love. Let's go.